really me.
I think more so for NiP. The Dazzle is one Undying as a hero that plays a lot.
Yeah.
If I'm playing against them, I was like, you know, forget Doom. You could have Doom. Maybe that's a really bad idea, but I mean, we see Doom being given away in the Nanyang final.
Yeah.
Game after game after game. I'm just afraid of the Dazzle and Undying.
You have to counter the Doom with like, we have so many cores. Who do you actually Doom? It's like
maybe but. Well, the draft is on the way.
Yeah, we can see which heroes are going to be banned out for the teams. As it's time for our first game, Ninjas in Pyjamas versus OG Dota 2 or OG Gaming.
Instantly removing the Tusk.
Yeah. What were the negative OGs we came up with yesterday? We had some negative ones.
10 seconds remaining.
It's hard to use the O.
It is, yeah. We came up with like
overextension guaranteed.
Yeah, overextension guaranteed.
It's very long.
It's very long.
What was it? Something garbage. What was the garbage one?
Odorous
garbage.
Odorous garbage. So
I had a fairly racist one. I'm not sure if I could even say anything.
I feel like
is it racist, Shane?
I can't remember.
With the techies one.
It's pretty racist.
Yeah, I remember that one now too. Don't do it.
Alright, so both Undying and Dazzle is left in the pool. OG secures the Shadow Fiend Radiant.
Yeah, it's pretty smart because I know NiP has had a lot of success with the Shadow Fiend lately.
Okay.
As well, so they both deny it and take it on the Radiant side, so it's like a win-win for OG right now.
It's also probably one of the best ways to deal with OG's early aggression. You know, you have a fallback mechanic on the Shadow Fiend. You can jungle, get up the mechanism early just to deal with it. But they answer with Spirit Breaker and Darkseer.
What's the synergy between Spirit Breaker and Darkseer? What does Ninjas in Pyjamas?
It's like dual offlane, super pressure.
And also, when you see Spirit Breakers play, it also just reveals warding. Like, you can just charge from certain angles and judge the player's reaction. In, like, say, for example, you charge the Shadow Fiend and see if he moves back. You know, okay, they have a ward in this position.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Of course, the Spirit Breaker also could pressure the Shadow Fiend on the mid lane, and that means Dazzle should have a TP ready. But even if Dazzle has a TP ready, like between Iron Shell and Charge, you could kind of, if your HP is high enough, you could follow him way out the grave and then still get the kill there.
Yeah. It's kind of even one of them like off-map heroes. You know, you can just be in the fog, even pulling in the safe lane, and just being off the map creates this pressure for your mid lane.
You never really know if there's a Spirit Breaker charging at you.
You need to be kind of concerned about your safe lane right now. You have Dazzle, but you need to pick like strong safe lane heroes. Gyro is banned already. Maybe.
Yeah, OG have been first picking the Gyrocopter for Miracle quite a lot.
It's a perfect hero for this meta, I think. So.
Just early game fighting and
stuff. We haven't seen a lot of Ember in the last few days. Actually, lack of Ember.
It's mostly banned.
No, not even that often.
Banned, so.
Sometimes 5th phase banned, but even like.
True. There's higher priorities right now, like these Dazzle kind of heroes. And I think Ember overall is kind of overrated. He's good at fighting. He's kind of like a. I know Chinese people used to refer him to like a puck, but it's a carry.
Okay. Because he's mobile.
Yeah, he's mobile and has like this kind of chain, the CC control and stuff.
So banning the Queen of Pain for OG, like one of the better heroes, I guess, against the Shadow Fiend mid.
If you're Ninjas in Pyjamas and you know that your mid Olymp is going to be going up against the Shadow Fiend, which hero would really fit into their lineup so far?
Well, for me, when I see Shadow Fiend and Dazzle, I guess someone like TA is pretty good. You know,
but at the same time, they have Dazzle.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of win the lane as TA early game.
I thought Lina was good, and then they banned it out. Limp's very comfortable on the hero. You kind of snowball.
Leshrac even is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, Darkseer Leshrac is a nice combination.
Yeah.
I think somebody that gets a Yules, like we see a lot of plays where you like, let's say go for the Shadow Fiend. You see the Dazzle comes in, you Yules him up, so you prevent the grave, you get the kill, and then Dazzle is now like stranded there. So.
Necrophos ban. What could that mean? Is it? Can we derive anything?
Maybe they want to go for like a tankier like Bristleback, or which is not really that good at the moment.
They could be afraid of the just overwhelming amount of heal with a Shadow Fiend in the neck, with a Dazzle.
They usually go for still on the pool. Wouldn't you pick up that hero if you had
it doesn't always like Ninja Pressure on his own. It doesn't really work that well with Spirit Breaker. I don't think it's very difficult on your own as like to zone out the offlane.
OG usually go for like this dual sustain hero, like Undying Dazzle is very strong combo.
Yeah.
They used to do that a lot.
They do both.
The thing about AA though, you need to hit like everyone with ulti. And it's not even that long without Aga, so...
Vacuum ult. Easy.
Yeah. Like Naga sleep into vacuum AA ult.
Okay.
Easy game.
Seal Kid's the one that plays the AA for NiP, right?
Yeah, generally.
He played it yesterday, yeah. And...
So it's not that farm intensive, it's like very late Aga. Most of the time.
I actually think the Agabo and AA is somewhat overrated. I see a lot of the Asian players, they start to lean away from the Midas and just get like support item like and 4 staff. And you just fight, yeah.
Use AA is pretty good as well.
But now we see a slaughter, so a ton of minus armor from the side of OG. And if you're the ice cream man, you're kind of afraid.
Yes, sir.
And you're also kind of sad with the lack of lockdown. And they do have a bit of kite, I guess, in a way. Not even that much.
With the surge, kind of?
Yeah.
What you mean? Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, for Ice Vortex, it's in a mini, tiny kind of kite. Because if you have a slaughter running at you and you don't have a disable, you can't really make him... You can't really bash him on command. Which hero would you like to see with that? Because you mentioned that you didn't like the Viper that much, but wouldn't that be a good hero to kite him around? Venom Core?
Venom's pretty good. Especially with AA.
With the Dazzle, the heal is quite powerful against it.
Yeah, the sustain is pretty good, but I mean...
But if they go for a Venom as a core, they're gonna lack damage. They're gonna lack... I think they're gonna lack...
No, I don't... If you have Ice Vortex and Venom ult on...
They lack physical damage, though.
Yeah.
Physical damage.
Definitely.
I mean, and both Slaughter as well, Shadowfiend are heroes that go for BKB generally.
It's true, but BKB doesn't really counter Venom super hard.
Yeah, because if you gale before the BKB, you're still...
Even the damage, like if you ulti into the BKB, it stays on.
Yeah.
I like Venom more for the wards, because the way that OG likes to play is they charge in like a long distance, and all the meanwhile your wards is hitting your Dazzle, your squishy backlines.
It's decent, but I mean, it's not that great against Shadowfiend in lane. Like, it's not super good.
Oh,
because he can just hit the wards with his bonus damage.
They could go for their Weaver again.
And push the lane with the race.
And just put a lot of pressure. Like, Slider on his own, it doesn't really dominate like an offlaner that much. And if they do a offensive tri lane, could work pretty well.
Yeah, it could work.
I'm actually hoping they pick a hero that could somewhat deal with the minus armor of OG. So maybe like a Sven could give your team armor, maybe a Vlad's hero, AC based hero. Like right now, this minus armor team from the outside is looking real scary.
Yeah, no.
The thing with that though, it's not even enough. Like Sven barely like.
That's 20, dude. That's a lot.
Slider on his own nearly removes it all.
I mean, there's no one other hero that gives you that much, right?
I was thinking maybe TA because of the refraction. You just completely block the damage.
Okay.
That was my logic. It's still...
But at the same time, she's not gonna do that much if she's just gonna be crushed by the slaughter and then boom, but after damage.
Got him.
No, it works, but it's like...
Now you have 3 melee strength heroes. Let's go Timber Sobos.
Yeah, you have the Surge.
Timber.
You have the Iron Shell for the Sven. You have the Surge to kind of back him up so he doesn't get kited.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's the best Timber game ever.
It's 2 melee strength heroes.
Moonplay.
You should go safely in Timber and offlane Slaughter this game.
Don't see his intellect.
I'm telling you, brother.
But do they play Timber though? Do they have a Timber player?
No tail plays everything.
Okay. I believe that.
It's fine.
I believe that too.
Mm.
Oh no, it's gonna be that dying.
Dude, Aghanim's Undying against melee heroes. You know, you put up the tombstone, it's just very difficult to close the gap to get to the tombstone to even attack it.
Here's the thing though, we keep saying how OG drafts very well. Right now they have 0 stuns. I mean, they have 1, they have Slaughter. But he needs a Blink Dagger to get those stuns off.
Okay.
So, is there a world where you could see NiP just kite the bejesus out of OG? They have good guiding hero. They got Surge, they got Ice Vortex, they got Warcry.
It depends a lot on the Slider and his blink timing.
I guess it's Venno, like, he's a good kiter here.
Yeah.
Even if Slaughter goes for blink, he's gonna be kind of screwed by the Venno wards.
The Venno wards, yeah, that's true.
But is it really a limp hero though? Because that's someone we're lacking.
He's played it before, right?
Jonas plays it for them usually.
Yeah, mostly it's Jonas playing it.
I'm gonna assume Jonas is gonna play the Dark Seer though.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
But it's kind of awkward.
I mean, Venom mid is not exactly the hardest hero to play. Like, you kind of just sit there and...
That's not true. I've seen Fada play it. Like, you deny and last hit every single creature.
You can stack the wards and stop them.
Yeah.
I think it's not a hard game to play Venom this game because you could charge in with Spirit Breaker, sets up the Gale, especially if AA coming in, putting in Ice Vortex. Should be fairly easy kill, even with the Dazzle helping out.
Viper boys.
You didn't want to see this hero.
I mentioned the Viper, but I just pointed it out. It's a good kiting hero, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is definitely.
It's okay.
You're just not a fan of the Viper, and there's the blue once again as well.
I mean, I'm a fan of the Viper, but I don't know if it's a limp hero.
So
okay.
Maybe.
So what do you think? Who do you favor?
I like I
Is it
just
still
like
gonna be OG?
Brewmaster in general. I think when you have you're relying on your Sven to do a lot of damage, and you can just tornado him early game with the Brewmaster. It's going to be very difficult. Like we were talking about NiP kiting OG, but I think it's going to go the other way with that pick.
Yeah, even just Drunken Haze is going to slow both Viper and Sven at this point.
Is there any specific timing we should look out for Ninjas of Pyjamas when they should be getting some plays into the game?
They need to like hit the stride before OG get mecha and blinks.
Yeah, exactly. It's all on the mechanisms. Really.
Then Viper
needs to get mech fast.
Okay, guys, you heard it. Keep an eye out on those mech timers. We'll be ready for the first game right now. It is Ninjas of Pyjamas taking on OG with OD Pixel and Draskell.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the casting desk. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Draskell, and we're ready to go with OG versus NiP. So let's get ourselves straight into the game as it has kicked off. And Andy, well, a lot of people going into this one. OG have been on a streak at the moment. The question is, can NiP put an end to it? And can they do it with the heroes that they drafted today here in game 1?
I gotta say, I'm a fan of OG's draft. They ran something very similar the other day here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. I love their answer to heavily pressuring off lanes, right? Like NiP, they pick the Spirit Breaker, they take the Darkseer. I believe it was actually in the first 2 on top of that. And OG's answer is, okay, we might not necessarily have the strongest lane to contest you, but we do have Undying and Brewmaster during mid-game, which means this kind of composition that NiP is putting together now that really wants to run at you, it's going to be really tough when you're fighting into Brew split. And I think the synergy between Undying and Brew in general and not being able to really reliably kill Tombstone makes it so devastating that it doesn't really matter if you have the farm as long as you got the levels.
NiP, they want to go for round 1 here. Charging straight forward to Miracle, and look at the damage here with the chilling touch. Flies there in the middle of it all, and NiP, they might even be able to find more, getting the slows down to the Undying. Moves there in the middle, gets the 3-man crush here. Maybe OG can find something in return with the decay, they will. They'll find the kill onto Viper here, so 1 for 1 at the moment. Now the charge back across as well, trying to find more with the Stormhammers there. They'll find crit on the Dazzle. 2 for 1. There's a 2 for 2. Fly still turning around. Moon, he's got another crush. Gets onto 2. The decay as well. From Fly, it's time to stack up. Looking to chase down Hanskin. Hanskin trying to get himself out of the river. The razors are there. They'll find themselves the third one. 3 for 2. The question is, can OG find anything more? They're trying to chase down Arrowhead. Look at all the decays. There's the crush again. No range. The decay from Fly.
What's happening?
They'll find themselves a 4th one, and well, 30 seconds into the game, Andy, it's all kicking off.
Clearly, OG are going to be coming out ahead of that. Like, no questions asked. That Undying, man, he had 6 stacks of decay at the end of that fight. They are going to start to fade off now, though. I'm sure Fly is going to be more than pleased having level 2 at less than 1 minute into the game. It does also mean that Miracle will have somebody to help guard him a little bit, maybe. Fly decides to stick around. But this matchup, like the SF versus Viper, Viper should win the early lane, but as soon as SF hits like 3 to 5, it becomes very difficult for Limp to really hold him down at that point.
So lane, Moon, just playing it safe there, drops down a crush, walks it off. But I think, as you said, just even though NiP found the first kill, I think 4 kills under the belt of OG is exactly what their kind of lineup is going to need to complement it, and having that early advantage and being allowed to be as aggressive as they want to be with this Undying and with the Slardar combination they've got in the top lane.
It is pretty scary to fight into, and they are committing. Okay, that's a lot of damage.
He's just going straight in with the crush, gets it onto 2. Flies moving in as well. They're looking for Seal Kid, and if they chase this down, they should be able to just find this here. One more does it, and it will. Seal Kid's going to go down. Moon just playing on the edge of his life, going in and out with these crushes, and so far, this is definitely OG being on the same amount of form as they were yesterday.
They just understand the limits of their heroes very well. Like, they see an AA with just a Spirit Breaker, and I'm pretty sure at that point Hanskin maybe either just at level 2 or wasn't even level 2 at that point, which means no bash because he's skilled charge for the level 1 fight. But you just walk into him. Like, what is the AA supposed to do without boots? He's 295 movement speed. That's a boots Orb of Venom Undying. You just get punched.
Oh, and we are just going to have a pause here as Era tries to realize what the hell is going on in the first 2 minutes of this game.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm not even too sure myself.
7 kills in 2 minutes?
Fly just continuing to go ham. He'll give it to Hanskin, the old little rundown here.
Can't trade, man. Undying too strong.
And Fly's, yep, just gonna follow it down. Hanskin turns around, says, "You want some? I'll give it some."
He needs like 2 or 3 bashes. Okay, he's just gonna turn around.
And he's got Silky turning up as well. Yeah, needs to be a bit careful and appreciative. Oh, okay, I say that Fly's just going straight back in. He's got a tombstone here. He's level 3. Hanskin is okay. Finds one bash, but now Moon's coming forward, and Hanskin. Oh, he will get out the charge in time. Gets himself back over towards the creep wave by the tower. But they've got to be careful here at NiP against this Undying Slardar laners. Well, you know, just having this amount of early advantage, the fact that Undying's been involved in all 5 kills at 3 minutes in, it's adding up here. And that's not the only thing that NiP have got to be scared of. The fact that we're seeing no-tail on the brew, we know how good the man is on this hero. We saw him yesterday have a pretty much flawless performance. I don't think he died at all, at least not until the latter portions. And well, top lane, it's still kicking off again. There'll be a charge up to win, and with the chilling switch, maybe they can find something. Stormhammer's there in the bashes as well. They'll get the kill onto the Slardar. Tombstone's been dropped down, but NiP will be able to remove it. It's a nice pick off there for NiP, this time managing to come out on top there of the aggressive dual lane of OG.
It's good that they're actually starting to get kills, because otherwise, having no-tail bottom lane versus Jonas and Fan, I think the Brewmaster's impact is going to be easier on OG than it is for, you know, Jonas and Fan getting that really good mech timing and then go into a good back wall during a team fight. There's some follow-up, I suppose. You can get a Stormhammer coming out from the Sven, and that's about it. But in general, the way that no-tail plays the Brew is as soon as he has the blink, he just doesn't take farm anymore. So you're going to be looking to see Moon maybe take more of a farming role. Miracle's going to be hitting a lot of creeps as well. And you'll just have no-tail and Fly just leading the charge in team fights.
He's going to get the rune here. Crit versus Jonas and Fan. And it's going to be Jonas and Fan here with the edge. Gets the bounty rune, trying to give Crit a bit of a chase down here with the shell. He's got a surge as well if he wants to go for it. And the charge coming across from the base. We'll see if NiP can commit to this. Miracle is there, so Jonas and Fan's going to back off, and I don't think they'll follow through with the charge. It's a little bit too risky. Top lane, Moon just dropping the crush onto the Sven. They're still just trading the CS, and Hanskin, okay. Oh, he wants to go for this. And he's quite deep. He does have Jonas and Fan here as well. Oh, okay.
He's okay.
There we go. He's out.
Value tango.
Some ballsy play there from NiP. They're not going to find anything with it. Top lane again. There's your crush. Moon's going to look for the body block. Just to drop the tombstone. Era's got the war cry here. We'll start to head away. There's going to be another crush here in a second. And can't get it out in time. Stormhammer comes out. There's actually going to be a pause. At the same time, Jonas and Fan did help to find a kill in the mid lane onto the Shadow Fiend. I just have a DC here from... Yeah, and as we can see, because of Dazzle's build at the moment, level 2, hasn't got any points in the Shallow Grave.
Yeah, I think he got poisoned for the level 1 fight, right? Or did he skill heal instead? He got healed for the level 1 fight. Okay, so he actually took poison at level 2. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it's okay, but using it against a Viper as corrosive skin, he's even maxing it. I feel that's kind of weird.
Can they can Crit get the kill on Hanskin here, actually?
Yeah, probably.
I imagine the tower's
he's got poison touch on him.
Yeah.
You could aggro drop potentially. Like you could aggro drop to the Viper and he can bottle charge you and you can walk away. But that's pretty much the only way he lives. If he fails the tower de-aggro, then he's dead.
Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. Let's see if Hanskin can get himself out of this one. The tower's on him. He's in a lot of trouble. And they do. They get it off onto him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, poison touch, level 1. Does enough there to get themselves the kill.
Well, he is almost level 3 off that, so the next time they charge that lane, he should have Grave available, which means no more free kills there for Hanskin. It's very good awareness, though, that NiP realized that, because he had to have shown that he used a poison touch in lane. Otherwise, you just hold the skill point and make the enemy team not know if you have Grave, right? So that's nice stuff. He's actually skipping it again. He goes for another heal.
Full aggressive. Oh, he is, yeah, okay.
Dire's bottom tower
Alright.
attack.
Okay.
This is interesting.
Across the map elsewhere. There's going to be a charge onto Miracle. Let's see if they're going to go fully commit for this one. Limp's moving in. He does have a Viper Strike. We'll lay it down to Miracle. The TPs are coming through, but Miracle, he's going to go down and there's no way of saving him. They'll lose the Shadow Fiend. No-tail's turned up here with a primal split. He's looking for Limp in the tree line. He's going to find him here. Has he got the control to take him down? He'll set this up. He's got backup coming in as well from Crit on the Dazzle. And they'll look to get the stun through, moving into position. The heal bomb as well. They'll get the clap out and they'll get the slap out. No-tail will be able to find the return comes Limp top lane. There's a Stormhammer and a charge onto Moon. Moon's in a lot of trouble. Gets the crush out. Soul Rip's there as well to heal him up, gets himself to the sidelines. They've got the tombstone out here. Moon just actually trying to move back in. Era's out of mana, so there's not going to be a second Stormhammer coming out. No, either way, no one's going to find a kill there on the top lane in that little bit of an engagement.
I like the way that Moon's playing this. He realizes that if the tombstone stays alive, Era has no mana, you can go back in and potentially have enough zombies to spawn to
kill.
Look
at this. I mean, Moon, he tries to get a crush out on top, but he won't be able to, and the controls there with the charge, the follow-up Stormhammer, they'll find themselves the kill onto Moon. So just punishing this this very aggressive positioning here of the two heroes on OG.
Maybe it's worth at this point at just like putting Fly like behind the Shadow Fiend or something. I know they're trying to give him a little bit of farming experience, but Crit hasn't really been able to help Miracle that much. He did finally opt to put a point into Grave. I think it was kind of silly that he didn't have it before. Because if you think about it, the only stunner hero that's coming mid is a Spirit Breaker, and he's not 6. So if you Grave, Miracle at the very least should always be able to TP out unless he gets unlucky and gets bashed. And it could have easily prevented 2 kills if he just had that skill.
Yeah, I think all things said and done as well. NiP, they're going to be fairly happy with how the game's gone at this point. The fact that Error, he's having a lot on his plate with Moon, and of course the Undying running at him on the top lane, but he's still finding the farm. 36 hits and 11 denies.
Yep.
He's not having that much of an issue at all up there.
And the Viper is out farming Miracle
Yeah.
in mid. I mean, of course, the Shadow Fiend's always going to be able to come back. That's kind of the strength of the hero. Just his ability to flash farm. But NiP actually have a very, very good start. And Seal Kid almost being level 5 at 7 minutes. This is much better than the other day when we saw AA and he was super underleveled. Like, I think he got 6 at 15 minutes or something crazy like that. But this game is going to be much better. That means that Dazzle Graves are going to have to be on point. If you land a nice AA ult into a vacuum, you kind of just win that fight, I feel.
NiP have definitely got the wombo combo when they start to make the movements around the map and group up as a team. We'll see when that does begin to happen. At the moment, top lane, towards the top rune, it's just going to be Miracle, grabbing himself a bounty. Also a bit of a wraparound here from the side of OG. We can see some very aggressive positioning from both Fly and Moon as they potentially look towards the mid lane. If they can set something up with a poison touch slow from Crypt, maybe they could look to dive the tower. Limp, he's got to be careful how far forward he comes, and he is being exactly that careful. Pings are coming out from the team. There's actually 5 heroes now on the side of OG, all looking towards the mid lane. They really want to try and go for this kill here. They're committing a lot of time and resources to it though. So if they don't find it, this is going to be kind of painful for the kind of progression and the efficiency of OG here. They still have 5 heroes. They're going to commit it to a tower push.
They're just doing it because they have a catapult. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you can time the catapult spawns and group up as 5 to just be like, okay, we're going to push the tower. Even if we don't take a fight, we have split up. We know that we can take this timing. And at the very least, we force NiP to fight us 5 versus 5, which they definitely do not want to do. You do not want to fight in the split and level 3 Tombstone at 8 minutes when you don't have AA ult available. I think if he was 6, maybe they would take the engagement. But realizing that Seal Kid's still only level 5, OG just get the free tower.
Miracle getting the money in the bank there as well. So in terms of net worth, it's Error at the top on his Sven. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of build we see coming out of the Sven. I mean, do you think he just needs to go into the tread, into the drums? Which looks like he's going to get the drums next.
They need a frontliner for sure. Like,
and
him and
does he get a blink or does he need to go straight BKB against this lineup?
I think blink is actually solid. Okay. You could burst pretty good on most of the heroes. You can kill Dazzle, who might also be dead anyway.
They've got the charge through. There'll be a nice blast coming in as well. Crit looking for the smart move and out with the bashes are there.
Okay.
And now with the poison, Crit, he will heal up, but it's not going to be enough to save him. And again, a nice bit of play from NiP, getting themselves another kill towards the mid. Keeping it even on the scoreboard, 7 for 7. And now they're going to charge back in the mid lane for more. Looking for Miracle. They realise there's no Dazzle. The wall's being dropped as well. Notel turns it with a promise split, but we've already lost the Shadow Fiend. We'll see if Notel can turn this at the moment. Hanskin and some fans still around in the neighbourhood. Tombstone's been dropped. Hanskin getting incredibly low, trying to walk it off here with Limp and the boys, but the stun's there. They'll lose the Spirit Breaker. They do surge at Viper, but he gets tossed in the air by Notel. Error moving in with the God Strength, looking to try and turn. There's your Stormham onto Notel. Can they bring it down? Yes, they can. Double kill for Jonas and Fan, and they might even be able to find the Undying as well. Now, it looks like they're not going to dive any deeper. They're going to play it safe, as the Tombstone is still down here. But NiP still coming out on top very nicely with these trades.
Yeah, I gotta say, they are fighting toe-to-toe with OG right now, who have looked phenomenal in the last couple of days, and even outside of the Dream League, they haven't even lost a game. So impressive that NiP are able to field this kind of contention, even in the early game, which OG have clearly drafted for. Like Slardar, Brewmaster, Dazzle, and Undying, these heroes are built to fight.
And Moon, he needs to get back to the tower, because a charge and a Stormhammer could spell disaster for the man, and he realises will move himself into a safer position there with a sprint. And Jonas and Fan on this bottom lane, he's starting to rack up the gold, and I really mean it, he's top of the net worth at the moment on this Darkseer.
Yeah, that early mech, in conjunction with having the AA Blast available, having Viper also level 6 with that max corrosive, it actually becomes very difficult for heroes like Slardar to actually go into the fight at all, because typically you want to pop sprint and you want to run at people. But if you get Viper struck with sprint on, you're kind of just dead. And if one follow-up stun comes through from either a charge or a Stormhammer, you're definitely dead. So I think NiP right now actually have a decent advantage, and also in the sense when the Sven gets to late game, Brewmaster split is terrible against late game Sven, because you pop BKB, Mask of Madness, and you kill them instantly, like one crit and they're dead. So I think that OG might be on a little bit of a timer here to try to get some things done. Viper does fall off to a certain extent, but I think just between the Wombo combo and the Sven, there we go.
Can find this is going to be hard though, because there is backup here for the side of OG. An Ice Blast will fly through, hits onto Crit. Jonas and Fans still hanging around here, but they're going to be able to dive and capitalise on the back of those ults hitting. OG will be fine for this time. And top lane Era just continuing to push. He's got the money there for the completed drums as well. So already we've seen them having issues in the early game, killing that Sven on the top lane. And it's going to get even harder now because this man's fairly damn tanky for 12 minutes into a game with those items.
Yeah, no kidding. Everyone on the side of NiP is going to be tanky. That's the problem. I mean, you got the mech pretty much done. Jonas Fan just has to send it out. You got that max war cry. So that's 20 armor to everyone. I honestly think that NiP have a really good shot this game.
Playing it really nicely.
Yeah,
they really are. Top lane is going to push the lane in. Era getting some damage down onto this tier 1, and it's just going to be a question of what OG do in response. Now, if there's one thing that we've learned from watching the side of OG after the last couple of days, they're very good at making decisions. So I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of talk now between the team on what the next big game plan is going to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see OG try and pull something big out of the bag next. Maybe even look for a smoke themselves, or at least start to play a little bit more conservatively and be very careful when they cross over onto NiP's side of the map.
I think even getting the mech timing up, like sure, Miracle's going to get it, but if Seal Kid's on point with the A blast, it doesn't really matter. And the thing is, NiP do have a decent amount of burst. They are going to smoke up here.
Yeah, this is the smoke we're talking about. See what they can find. The 3 heroes here, but Hotel jumps into the clap. Promise split as well, looking for Limp. Handskid says, I'm getting the hell out of there. So they'll get the Spirit Breaker out, they'll try and bail NiP, but they do lose Limp here. So OG finding a kill here, onto the Viper. That's going to be it as Jonas Fan gets himself away. So it is just one, but it's a kill nonetheless, and it's little pickoffs like this that OG need to try and get the momentum back, favouring the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, it's a decent kill. I mean, the tower was already dead, so they 3-man smoked for 1 kill. I think OG will be, I guess, satisfied, but at the end of the day, they're going to want more. Having to commit a split to it as well when they just show the Blink Dagger on No-Tail, it's like, it's okay. I think they really want to try to get some tier 1s down, though. I think OG are going to throw.
If goes in on this, there is going to be backup on the side of OG, but with the Ice Blast coming down onto Moon, Moon's got to get himself the hell out of there. No-Tail was wondering if they could get themselves back in and turn. But they're just going to play it safe, let Moon head himself back. Hansken, he's not going to follow through with that charge there, will hold off. He's got level 6 now, the Spirit Breaker, so we are going to have that Nether Strike up as well. No-Tail coming around, was hoping for a rune, but Hansken's going to take it from straight under his nose. And still 75 seconds until that Promise Split's back online, so... And then we'll see OG look to be kind of too urgent to jump into another fight until that ult is back online.
It's kind of crazy how much pressure OG are applying just by like not showing and moving a couple of heroes around, because every time nothing's happening, OG are always getting more out of the map, it feels, because they have a Shadow Fiend, they have a Brewmaster with Arcane, so he can also do a little bit of split farming. They're gonna clap Limp, but no split, so I doubt they're gonna go for that kill. Yeah, it's still a little bit shaky for OG. I think the next couple of smokes are going to be very indicative of how they do this game.
Yeah, I mean, as you were saying earlier, the fact that the Shadow Fiend, Miracle, he is catching up, and well, he's ahead now of the Sven in terms of net worth. Yeah, I did just pick up the mech about 30 seconds or so ago. And now it's going to be NiP looking for a bit of aggression. Era, pretty much for the first time now, leaves the top lane. The pings are coming out onto the bottom. They realise Fly's on his own. They're going to lead him with the charge here. And Fly, he's in a lot of trouble here. They should have the control to bring him down before he can get anything out, and they will. Stormhammer's the backside. They'll find themselves one. Now with the Vibe Shotgun Miracle, they're looking for more ice. Oh, look at the damage! No-Tail goes in as well, but he just gets melted by the side of NiP. Double kill for Jonas Fan, and... well, No-Tail, he was not wanting to jump into the middle of that, because that was not pretty for the side of OG.
If he had split, that would have been very different. It was like, I think 7 seconds on cooldown or something when he decided to go in and get the clap. He saw an opportunity for a big nuke, he went for it. It didn't quite work out. Even with the double Requiem for Miracle, it was only enough damage to take down one person. And
look at this. Let's see how many bashes he gets down to crit. He might need a few. There's the initial one with the charge. Nope. Nope. No, okay, no. Luck's not on his side today. Now Hansken could be in trouble. Fly trying to send around crit as well. There's the weave ticking down the armor on Hansken, and Hansken is going to get blown up by a heal bomb. Deleted from the game of Dota 2. Ice Blast flies through, but Fly himself, he's backed up, so the Ice Blast won't quite connect onto the Undying. So they do just lose Hansken there, and a nice little turnaround there from the side of OG, finding a kill against NiP.
This is a very, very close game so far. I'm very impressed with NiP that they're able to kind of keep contending OG in this very early game. The Starkseer has Invis.
Let's see if he can set something up.
Did a blast soon? 7 seconds.
Okay, this could be the big vacuum Ice Blast. Let's see if he can do it, Jonas Fan. Hold the tower. There's a lot of OG here. Moon still got a bit of time on the DD. No-tail goes through the clap onto 2. There'll be the Stormhammer onto Fly. Era's time to back up with the War Cry, and Primal Splits come out. They're looking to try and focus down Limp, but here's the charge from Hansken. Choo-choo straight across the fight. Ice Blast flies in. He's going to hit beautifully onto Moon and crit, and now Era pops the Ghost Trick trying to fight, but he's choked up into the air by the Primal Split. No-tail disabling the Sven from this fight for the time being, but they've already lost Miracle. Era trying to move in onto Fly, gets the Stormhammer stun. With the help of Limp, they should be able to finally kill to Fly. No Fly. He's almost just have another crush from Moon. Finds 2. There's a double kill for crit. They're looking to try and find Sven as well, and they should be able to get Era. Moon just kiting it up here very well. Era still got a lot of damage there with the Ghost Trick, but it doesn't matter. There's the crush. Triple kill for crit, and now No-tail chasing down Seal Kid, the last remaining survivor off the side of NiP, and he's wiped off the face of the earth. This time, OG reasserting their dominance, finding an effective team wipe, and only losing Miracle on his Shadow Fiend.
The difference between having Brewmaster split and not having Brewmaster split was pretty much showcased in that fight. I mean, some heroes just simply don't get to do anything. Or in the early game, Sven is absolutely terrible against Brewmaster because you either have Drunken Haze on you before he uses Primal Split, or you spend the entire team fight in the air. Like, those are pretty much your options. So, at this point, you kind of need to get to BKB really quickly if you're Era, I think, if you want to have some kind of influence in his team fights. Otherwise, you're just going to get crowd controlled to death. And they just killed Limp first, even though they kill Miracle. At that point, their damage is very burst-oriented, right? So you land like an A Ice Blast, a Stormhammer on the same target, and you have to kill. And they did, actually. They did kill him. But at that point,
they
it's
did.
like...
They killed the Miracle.
Yeah, but Brewmaster's split lasts too long. There's too much disable in it. It's very difficult to fight OG. 5 versus 5 with that up.
And off the back of that fight, the fact that Moon now on the slider, he's managed to pick himself up a Blink Dagger, so something else that NiP have to be aware of in these fights. And he's closing on to level 11 as well, so he's going to be able to step up that armor reduction game that he's got going there with the Amplify. At 16-13. Still a very close fight between these two sides, and a very exciting one as well, just in a game 18 minutes young.
The timings for NiP are going to be really key here. They're going to need BKBs for sure to be able to take these fights, and OG are also itemizing in a way like Vlad's finished up on No-tail. They want to just continually apply the pressure. They want to try to go high ground potentially. There's going to be a 10-second BKB kind of soon on Miracle. He's only about 800 away from it. And when that happens, you got to be ready if you're NiP. At the very least, I think OG are going to try to go for Roshan, maybe kill the last remaining tier 1, which is in the off lane for NiP currently. I would like to see NiP just try to get more farm on the Sven for now. Like, that's the biggest thing. If Eric can get BKB, and like Mask of Madness maybe, and team fights, he will do so much work.
I mean, also worth noting as well, I don't know if this is, in your eyes, much of an issue, but the fact that both Era and Limp did choose to build the drums on both of the heroes, is that fine, or
I think it's
not the most efficient kind of team build, or?
I think Viper might have been better served just going straight for Aghanims, just so you can stay like farther away from the fight, but might have to hold that thought. OG coming in.
Let's see what they can find here. Weave is going to start to buff them up. Era could be in trouble. The pings are coming out. Moon leads the way. Gets the Blink Crush out. No-tails there with a follow-up clap. Era getting blown up by the heal bomb. Primal Split coming out as well. OG are going to look for more. Can they get the controller onto Hansken? They'll be able to chuck him up in the air, and it looks like the fight will continue. Tombstone's dropped onto the high ground. They'll bring Hansken down. He gets the charge across. He'll actually be able to get himself out of this one. Gets himself away from the side. Moon just jumping straight into the base. Screw the tier 2. Screw the tier 3. I want to kill Seal Kid, and he'll get it. The Ice Blast has come out in time, and now with the 5 stroke on Moon, he's in a bit of trouble. Has got a shallow grave here being thrown out by Crit. Will buy Moon some time. He turns around, gets an Amplify and the Crush as well out onto Limp, but he will still go down there on the slider. So NiP do find something in return, but OG, they're not happy. They're turning up the aggression, jumping straight into the base at 20 minutes in.
The other part of that team fight is Sven actually bought Blink. I kind of understand where he's coming from with the purchase. He wants to be able to jump in, find, like, I guess ideally the Brewmaster or the Dazzle. Like, those are pretty much the 2 best targets that you can go on. And hope that you can kill him.
He's got a mech. He's going to be fine. Limp's there. Now with the charge through, maybe NiP can try and take a fight. There's going to be a charge coming across from the top lane. Weave gets laid down very nicely by Crit, so it's going to start to build them up in terms of tankiness. Look at the Ice Blast. Look at the Ice Blast. Incoming. Catches it 3 on the tip. Miracle gets out the Requiem, but Fly incredibly low. Will be Shadow Great though. Yoni Safan trying to back out. Will be able to surge away. Era turning up to fight the God Struggle. Look at the damage he's doing. He's chasing down Crit though. He's being kited about. They found 2, but Moon with the cross shot to 2. The charge is there. Luba's going to stay alive. Gets himself away. Now turns around. Tries to to Kite Moon. The surge is there as well from Jonas and Fan. They'll find the kill onto the Slardar. NoTail turns up, gets the clap slap onto the Darkseer, but they've already lost 3 on the side of OG, and they may lose NoTail as well. Then it's a charge from Hanskane, closing the gap. They'll find NoTail here. It's a full team wipe against the side of OG, and this time it's NiP just losing 1, and it's only the Darkseer. And this game still proving to just be back and forth, both teams showing us that they can pull a team wipe out from the backsides.
The AA blast was huge there from Steel Kid. Like, hitting those 3 was super important. Even though Era kind of got sidetracked, chasing Crit around, he got juked a little bit, and then took him probably 20 or 30 seconds to take down the hero. At that point, they had already taken out Miracle. There was no split during the engagement, and that's really the difference maker right now. Because of the fact that Era didn't have BKB for the fight, it splits up. He pretty much can't go in unless you kill NoTail first. If NoTail dies before split, fight is pretty much won for NiP. But until they have the burst damage to do that, it's very tough. He is going to start going for the BKB now after Blink has been purchased. And I think OG will pretty much just smoke around NoTail's ultimate.
Yes.
If they can do that, and
it's all about the split.
Yeah, if they can take fights based around his ulti, I think they will continue to do all right. But you can't give too many more of those engagements away to NiP, because the problem is once BKB's out, the split isn't nearly as effective because Sven can just run around in the team fight just hitting people.
Alright. He's gonna run this a Miracle, and Miracle's gonna blink out straight away, and Era says, right, I'm off. Screw you guys. He's out of the jungle. He's gonzo. But in terms of Roshan, obviously OG, they do have the Slardar with the Amplify. When are they going to go? Hopefully for their sake, not anytime soon, because NiP are hanging around with a smoke.
Oh, NoTail's in a really bad spot right now. If he's the one who gets caught first and he dies straight away, it's really bad for them. So the Grave is going to have to be on point here from Crit if he's the one who gets jumped.
It looks like they're hoping that OG look for Roshan, as we're saying. They're just waiting in position, hoping to see something come out. OG themselves have pinged on the Roche pit. But I think they know that NiP's up to something sneaky. They're not going to jump in themselves, just getting the vision there with the weave. They'll see that Roshan, he's on his own, on his bill at the moment.
Oh, Miracle. I don't know if you want to walk that way.
Are they going to jump on him? The pings are coming out from both sides.
Actually, I don't think they can jump him.
And I think the smokes as well, that ward, I believe, just giving vision here of Era. Yeah, so they know what's up OG, and they're playing it careful themselves. Head back up to the high ground. And they're just going to continue to farm. It is, of course, going to be Fly looking for that Aghanim, so we talked about it. Well, the panel did in the draft, how strong it's going to be against the kind of the lineup.
They smoked again. Jesus. They just double smoked.
They're desperate to find something here. And they've got to do it with this one, as you said, expanding most of the smokes that they've got for the time being. And it's a smoke on smoke action here. OG themselves moving towards the pit. We'll see who gets the wraparound. This could be a very nice wraparound from NiP through the enemy jungle.
They got a great position right now.
This is a fantastic way for the NiP to enter the fight. If they go back towards Roche, but they're going to go for the long wraparound. Flying himself in the pit. OG heading up to the Ancients.
Now, okay, now OG have the better position.
Yeah, they've got the high ground now. NiP, this was the long wraparound into Roche.
What's happening?
I mean, now, okay, the pings come out, the smokes ran out.
Oh, no.
Jumps in, crush onto 2, the weave gets laid down as well. Miracle with the rest from the sideline, reducing the damage. Oh, but through the wall as well. They need to get themselves out of here. The white spot hits onto Fry and Miracle. The primal split is out though, and OG continues to fight. Miracle getting the punches onto Hanskane with the amplifier as well. Hanskane shifts about mood again with the crush onto 2, that bit of Stormhammer onto Miracle. No, but there we go. Shallow Grave comes out from the Dazzle. 2 down at the moment on NiP. Maybe make that even worse. A double kill from Miracle. He takes the third one out. Only Jonas and Fan and Era are left. Era's trying to run around with the surge, trying to chase down Fly, but Moon's still there. Has the mana to go back in with potential overcrush. He'll move forward, jumps forward, gets the crush on Terra, takes down the Sven. Triple kill for Miracle. Only Jonas and Fan left to run away. He's not going to make it. The clap and the slap given to him by NoTail. And after the end of a very tense smoke on smoke bit of action, OG once again with a team wipe themselves, and they'll of course look to back up and take Roshan as well. 25 minutes here.
The biggest issue with that team fight is at the very start, Era was kind of trailing in the back, and NoTail managed to stop his Blink Dagger. If he was able to blink in and land a Stormhammer on that 3-man vacuum, they would have immediately won that fight. Like, no questions asked. But NoTail was on his A game, managed to catch out Era before he was able to get into the fight. Alpha split wears off, there was a Drunken Haze on him, no BKB, no damage. I mean, NiP are really lacking in that department right now without the use of Era. So again, every time splits up, it's free team fight as long as NoTail is keeping tabs on the Sven.
Okay, and bottom lane, as we saw, OG take themselves another tower. Miracle still very much staying on top of the farm game. 12k gold in net worth at the moment. It's a good 3.5k pretty much above Limp's Viper. The overall team net worth difference, though, it's been up and down, but in terms of XP as well, we're starting to see OG break ahead of the pack, and it's actually going to be the 26-minute Midas here for Moon as he decides to back up onto that one on the slider.
I think it's one of those choices that you make when you feel confident.
Oh, limp.
Limp. Yeah, mega dead.
Very dead.
But the Midas choice on Moon, I think, is actually fine, because sometimes you buy a Midas when you are confident in your team's ability to control the map, and you think that you have a good enough advantage to where, okay, we might not be able to push high ground, but we can at the very least control the enemy's movement and make sure that they're not farming effectively. And then you just wait for the Midas to pay for itself, and then you push. And OG have shown that they're okay playing that style. So, to some degree, I think it shows confidence, and I don't blame OG for that choice, and especially not Moon.
Yeah, it's top lane. NiP will be able to find themselves a tier 1, but they're losing a tier 2 on the bottom to the side of OG. Of course, OG going for the favourable trades. NiP is going to try and look for a tier 2 themselves, but I think OG will say, hello guys, we're going to start knocking on your back doors. You've got to get yourself back to the base here if you want to keep this lane of racks intact. Yeah, indeed, Miracle and Moon head straight up into the tier 3. We'll see what the reaction here is going to be from NiP. They do have that wall available. 8 seconds until Limp's back up on the Viper.
They don't have a glyph. They need to actually fight this.
They need to get themselves back.
I mean, they got Guardian Greaves up too now. This could actually be a decent turn if they can just get a good VAC initiation.
They've got the Aegis on Miracle, you've got to remember, for OG, and he has now got that BKB complete on top of the SNY.
OG are actually not going to go for the racks. I think they just go for tier 2s. It's a lot harder for NiP to justify fighting around a tier 2 than fighting in their base. So it's actually a better utilization of Aegis to just take the safer towers, because that way NiP have to weigh the risk reward. Like, is it worth fighting for the tier 2, or do we just let them get the free net worth?
We'll see what OG do consider in that regard, and we've got to remember, OG, we've seen this in previous games. Even when there's the opportunity to maybe push the high ground, they'll always take the safer, the more sensible option. And as you said, just looking for other tier 2s around the map, maybe hoping to try and find a fight there with NiP, as it'll be a little bit more favourable for them rather than trying to fight NiP inside NiP's own base. And tier 2, Miracle's just going to frontline it here, just kind of seeing if NiP will take the bait, if they want to go out of the base to fight. And it looks like, as you said, NiP really want to wait until OG themselves overextend and actually take the push up to the tier 3s.
I don't know if they will yet. I mean, there's still a free tier 2 to get. I think that using an Aegis to get 4 towers is fine. Like what they push in tier 2, tier 3 bottom, then tier 2 mid. If they go top now, keep all 3 lanes pushed. The thing they did yesterday is they warded every single lane outside of the enemy's base when they were controlling, and just prevented them from leaving the base for like 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden you just win because you've accrued so much more net worth that the other team can't compete anymore. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a similar approach here, unless NiP go for like another YOLO smoke, which, given how desperate they seemed with their earlier smokes, I wouldn't put it past them to try it again. And you can even see him drawing on the map. I think they might actually just want to smoke out of base and try to catch him from the flank. Or just charge right in. Alright.
Let's see what Anskin can do with this. Nether Strike as well. There'll be a nice blast the wall onto 2. And there's just Storm Hammer as well to follow up. Eric gets the God Strength. Tries to start to work a miracle. But there's the Shallow Grave coming out for the silence from Crit. It's going to force NiP back. They will pop the Aegis here. We're ready to go for the second round. But BKB is still available here. Moon jumps in with the crush onto Lim. Anskin with the charge across again. Miracle pops the BKB in no tail. Now entering the fight with the Primal Split. He's going to look to try and control Lim first. And they'll take down the Viper. We'll see if they can move in for any more here. They will. They'll turn around, get the raise onto the Hansken Spirit Breaker. So it's a 2-for-1 at the moment. Now OG moving forward, looking for more. They've got the control there, holding error in place here. There'll be the buyback from Lim. Lim wants to return to this fight, try and turn it, see if they can get anything back off the side of OG. And Jonas and Fan blinking forward, trying to chase down Miracle. Miracle waltzes straight through the wall again, but he's going to be fine with his Invis rune. They don't have any detection out this far on the map, and looks like the buyback from Lim isn't going to achieve anything apart from just forcing OG to back. Maybe Jonas and Fan can find this though of Era. Chasing down Crit here in the river. Era will be able to close the gap. The Reeve comes out. He just uses the Stormhammer. Crit actually gets out the Shallow Grave in time. Ice Blast flying through as well. A lot of hate coming down onto the Dazzle, and it will pay off. They'll find the kill onto Crit. So NiP do defend the base and do keep their racks at least intact.
Yeah, defense is great at this point. Like, they did have to buy back on Limp. Not the greatest, but again, base is alive. I think you're going to be fine with it for now. The biggest thing here is BKB almost finished for Era. Is it going to be enough at this point? I'm kind of wondering that, because Vlad's AC done on no-tail. That means you have the additional 10 armor pretty much to your entire team. You already have Solar Crest up on Crit, and they've had it for a while. They have double damage on Miracle for the next team fight with a 9-second BKB. It is going to be so damn difficult to fight into this, because even if you get a good BKB on your Sven, you're still going to have to worry about Requiem damage reduction, Weave as well. Oh, Jonas and Fan spots Miracle.
I found Miracle there. I went to charge as well, but as you said, BKB is there, DD is as well, and I think Hanskin realizes he doesn't really want to go too deep for them. Here's the item that they were talking about in the draft. Undying now has got that Aghanims online, so something else that in these team fights is going to be very, very scary for NiP to fight into if they can't take out the Undying at the start. And we've already seen how tanky he is and how hard he is to bring down, especially when you factor into the fact that they've got a Dazzle keeping him alive as well.
Yeah, they spotted the smoke, by the way, under this ward, so NiP will have a good idea of what's going on. I mean, the Aghanims is great for the Undying, there's no question, but the thing is, he's only level 1 decay right now.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like super crazy yet. It will be a lot better, obviously, the more levels that he gets. And 11 is a very long level, too. So as soon as you hit 12, you get to 14 pretty much in the same amount of experience it takes to go from 11 to 12. So his decay will be maxed, I think, in the next couple of minutes if they take a good team fight or two, or just keep farming, whichever OG decides. But you can see, even though this smoke doesn't really do anything in the way of getting kills, look at where NiP are. They're not farming anything. 3 of them are sitting in the base, 2 of them are sitting on the side of the map. OG, I don't think, mind too much not finding anything with that smoke because they have a good idea that NiP are at the very least not doing anything with the map either. And they don't need their smoke to be successful because they're the ones with map control. Sure, getting a pick would be great, but you know that NiP can't really fight you at the moment, so they'll just go back to just hitting some creeps.
And something else, of course, that's going to make it even harder to take down Miracle. The fact that he's got the Talisman of Evasion on him. There's obviously no sign of any kind of true strike, any MKBs coming out in the lineup of NiP shortly. And just factor in what the Drunken Haze as well. It's going to be very hard, you know, for the side of NiP to get those hits in onto Miracle. We've already seen how hard it is for them to bring him down. So he's going to be a pretty formidable frontliner in these high ground advances when OG go for it.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I'm just really okay.
We're going to see this kick off. Yeah, the crush onto Hanskin. Look at the damage there with the Amplify. Nice back to more onto 4. Look at the nice blast as well. The Stormhammer only onto crit. The kills come out from the mech. Now they're trying to turn. Look at the damage here onto Jonas, and Fan melts and gets blown up there by the heal bomb. Now with the crush on Terra, they've suddenly lost 3 on the side of NiP. And that was a bit of a panic fight there from the side of the Dire, just feeling that they needed to force themselves into a position that OG were very well prepared to take them from.
It was very close to being an even fight, though. If you imagine the Sven had been a little bit closer, gets that Stormhammer, like maybe as soon as the vac comes out instead of 2 seconds after when he was only able to hit 1 target, a 4-man stun into an Ice Blast is a really nice start to an engagement. Unfortunately, the coordination wasn't quite there, and I think at this point they're heavily relying on that. If they don't land that Wombo combo, with fresh BKB up on the starter as well, taking an engagement is going to be it's going to be a rough road.
As we can see, it's top lane, tier 3 starting to fall, and NiP they'll have their full roster back up in 10. And that's your fortification coming out now. It's getting the Manta style here picked up by Limp on this Viper. And there's the tower down. Limp starting to move forward here. They've got everything bar the wall, and they don't have God Strength back online. They'll charge through onto Fly though. They want to try and take this. Hanskin is going to commit. Looks like he will go straight across the fight here onto Fly. There's your Ice Blast flying through. They'll turn around the Cloud. Ice Blast passes across Fly here. Fly getting away with the Shallow Grace there, and Miracle turns it around with the Requiem. Takes down Hanskin. NiP just getting forced back in. Mu just dropping amplifiers around onto the side of NiP. Jonas and Fan has to run back to base. Error just getting blown up by the hit by GG. Well played is called. OG at the end of the day there, just finding the big fights and the big victories there in the skirmishes. And I mean, hats off to NiP for playing very well in the early to mid game, but it was just those late game decisions and late game choices of when to fight that OG came out on top of.
A couple of things about this game really kind of stood out to me. When the start of the game happened, I was talking about how good Sven can be against Brew once you have like the BKB available. I think delaying the BKB and getting a blink first was a little bit of a sign of desperation from NiP when Era decided to buy that, because he bought it right before he got picked, right? So he's like, I should just buy blink. You know, I want to try to jump in, I want to try to get a really quick priority kill, and then we take the team fight after that. Or maybe he just buys it for the vacuum combination, right?
Okay.
But think of how little he actually did in the early engagements when OG realized, okay, he's super weak right now. We got split, we can go fight, we have mech available. If the AA ulti isn't like amazing, we should be able to win most fights. And that's kind of how it went. Right, and every time Split was down, NiP are like, all right, let's charge in. Let's start the fight with a Spirit Breaker. Let's try to get things going. And then they would win the fight. And then eventually, it's just not enough farm on the Sven. Like at the end of the game, he had 139 CS in a 35-minute game.